evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on the show tonight. I know it's late for some people, but this is a time period I had to do the actual stream. Now, I was going to do this about a week ago, but I had to go out of town with family because a cousin of mine got married. So family always above anything. But even though I went over there with family, I did a live stream over there as well. So I try to keep up much as possible. If you don't see me doing something for an extended amount of time, usually I'm busy, but I will get back to doing the things that we need to do. Now, we're definitely going to get into the topic, but I definitely want to address a few things first. First and foremost, Hurricane Harvey. Hurricane Harvey is supposed to be approaching the Texas Gulf Coast. Right now, it says it's going to possibly make landfall around the Corpus Christi area. Now, I have people that are subscribed to our channel and watch the show in the Corpus Christi area. I met a few of them actually when I was over there. I was walking around talking with the family and they heard me speaking, and then they called me out just based off of my voice. Had a good time talking with them. I posted a picture that I took with them on Instagram. If you following me there, you probably seen it on Instagram. So anybody that's following us in Corpus Christi, make sure you have your car full of gas and your water and food and all the things that you need, medicine. Try to take care of that. If you live in a low-lying area, make sure to leave that area, because some people, they live in a very low-lying area. If you're going to stay behind after the storm with no lights, make sure you have generators, and make sure you keep a weapon, because you have, unfortunately, criminals that try to run around and loot when people are evacuated or when the light's out. So you want to protect your property and your possessions at all times. But today I was out and they had people all in the line with the gas. And I'm like, okay, I use mostly premium for my cars. I don't put regular in. And if you know anything about premium gasoline, certain type of gasolines, it's just better for your car. The gas lasts longer. I made my wife a believer of that long time ago. So they was even running out of premium. So I found one spot. I got some gas. I'll say, cool, I'm good. Went to the store. Oh, okay, what's going on, Cynthia? Went to the store, like I said, dealing with that. But just take care of yourself with these storms. Don't chance anything. If you're looking at the water and you think I can make it, sometimes you don't know how deep it is. And there's a lot of places, especially in Houston, underneath certain bridges, people have drowned because they thought they can make it in a flood. If for some reason we have damage, at least in the area, I'll see if I can go out and survey the damage and let you guys see what happened here if we have some sort of damage here. But I don't really think we would have too much, because the storm is heading to Corpus Christi. Even though the dirty side of the storm would hit us, if it would turn just a little bit to the right, that we would really get it bad, because the right side of the storm is the dirty side, not really the eye wall. Even though, and the crazy part about it, the eye passing over you is, I remember that happened one time before, and you have the bad hurricane tearing everything up. When the eye pass in the middle, is calm, no rain, it's just breezy, like nothing going on. And then once that part passed and the backside of the storm happened, that's another here we go again, getting hit with all that wind, rain. And let me tell you something, hurricanes are scary things, because I remember the last time we wrote out a category 2 that smack dab hit us. I said, I'll never do that again. The way you were feeling that, the pressure and the way you look, it sounded like the roof wanted to come off. I'm like, oh, hell no. Then you see the fence got knocked down. I mean, you think things are heavy until you watch what the wind do to them. I've seen wind just pick up stuff and just fling it. Like somebody literally took it with their own hand and just threw it. You know what I'm saying? So hurricanes isn't anything to play with or things you should chance. Thank you, Dustin Dargan, for joining us on Patreon. Appreciate that. But it's nothing to play with. So just respect it. Respect the hurricanes, because it's just something that you're not ready for. Now, some of you that live up north, you don't know anything about it. And it's a scary thing to deal with. Trust me, it can wipe your whole home out. That's why you got to have flood insurance on top of regular homeowners insurance. Living down here, and windstorm damage insurance. Hopefully you got that for those of you who own a home. Let's say get the mods. Okay, well, if the mods are here, then hopefully they could deal with those who are saying things. I'm not paying attention to the chat right now. But aside from that, we have a lot of things definitely going on, developing here on the show. And we let people know on Patreon other things that we're about to start doing. So when you do follow us there on Patreon, like Dustin followed us and helping us on Patreon to keep going and put the shows on, you get that information. I will ask the people on Patreon certain decisions in certain directions that we should go on. They are the people that's helping us to keep it going, and we have to get to the 3,000 people. Now, I had one person making a complaint saying that, you need to chill out with the asking and say, well, help us get 3,000, and I won't say a word after that. My mouth will be quiet, because obviously we need supporters, not just people watching, for $2 or $5 a month. Now, the progress, at least the last progress I saw, we had 1,612 people join us on Patreon. We are not at the 3,000 mark yet, but I believe the people are here, and we're going to keep pushing until we hit that, because this show has to keep going on. You guys don't realize some things that's going on in the background, certain people that I'm talking to, and some things I wish I could talk about right now and I'm excited about, but I have to wait just for certain reasons to talk about it. But understand that we are making a difference. This platform is helping other people, and we are the place that some people are coming to bring their stories when the mainstream media is refusing to hear them out or also twist their words. Also, as I stated earlier with the Klan video, we will interview anybody. I would interview that same crazy guy in the Klan that interviewed the black Latina woman interviewed. I would interview that dude, but I wouldn't go to his property. We had to meet somewhere else. Like, I don't trust you. And if I did go over there, I'd probably have to go with Brother Vincent and Brother Yakanon and them. I said, that'd be the only way I go on his property. I said, I have to bring them with me. I said, then I feel safe about it. I'm not going to no Klan property by myself, and we don't have no guns with us, please. But with that being said, we have some things coming, and there's a lot of people that's asking for advice, asking for this, asking for that. We're about to alleviate all that and make that more so a one-on-one thing. But those on Patreon, check the latest post, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about on that area. Now, the women that you saw in the video and also the title, the 5. Thank you, John DeJean, for donating. Can you use PayPal on Patreon? Faith, yes, you can. You sure can. The 5 types of sellouts. Now, some people are saying, why didn't you use the other word? They didn't want to use that because this applies not just to black people, but I think this applies to anybody outside of the people that they're kissing butt to. So there was a news clip that I wanted to show you guys to illustrate some of the types of sellouts within our community. And I just want you to pay attention to this news clip. So let's go ahead and pull that up right now. Let's see if we can go down here. Where we at?
Has your support for Trump lessened one bit?
Absolutely not.
Not at all.
No. Not one bit.
No, I don't look at him as, my pastor or my moral leader. I look at him as the leader as it relates to governmental issues.
We're not looking for somebody charming. We're looking for a man who knows how to turn things around. And he's got a track record of turning things around.
When you saw Charlottesville, what did that say about where we are as a country?
It wasn't necessarily a completely black-white issue, but I think that the media is turning it into a black-white issue. It's definitely a left-right issue, but it's left fringe and right fringe.
The Confederate statues don't bother you?
No, it's history. I wasn't born back then. You wasn't either. So why is that affecting us? If anything, we should grow and learn from it. Just like Martin Luther King said, you don't judge people by the color of their skin. You base that on their character.
How do you explain what your support is for a president given the criticism that he's had on this race issue?
I think for myself, period. Nobody's going to tell me what to think or how to think. I'm not gullible and I'm not blind. It's my decision if I'm going to support someone or not go by what other people has to say. And to me, what I've seen and what I love, he's not going to lose my support anytime soon.
I've been a Republican before Donald Trump. I will be a Republican afterwards. I honestly don't think we will see this issue of racial divide addressed until we remove identity politics out of the political process.
These Republican women say if a president deserves blame for making racial tensions worse, it's Obama, not Trump, for the identity politics they say Democrats have practiced for the last 8 years. Anthony?
Mark Strassman, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you saw the news clip. And I want to point out something about the 5 types of sellouts. Now, I call them sellouts because I wanted to actually look at them and look at certain characteristics that they have, because they all have particular things that they're doing. Now, the woman in let's pull them back up. The one that's on the right-hand side. If you noticed during the news piece, if you look into the eyes of a lot of these sellouts, they tell on themselves. Always remember, the eye is the gateway to the soul. And if you don't see a person that has a soul, the eyes will tell you. Those blank stares, the look they're lost. Their whole soul is on display. That's why some people who are very evil and demonic always try to keep their eyes covered or not look at people face to face, because they have something spiritually going on. Now, the first type of sellout is the angry sellout. Now, the woman on the right-hand side would be an example of the angry sellout. You saw in her eyes that she looked just very angry, discussing what she was discussing. And why? If you are so happy about Donald Trump, then why are you so angry? Another example of angry sellouts would be the 2 men that you see on this picture, Sheriff Clark and Larry Elder. Classic 2 who are angry sellouts. Now, some of the characteristics of angry sellouts: they hate black people with a passion. They have more hatred for black people than a white nationalist terrorist or a Ku Klux Klan member would have. They are extremely dangerous. They have vitriol toward black people. And why? What did black people as a whole do to them? It doesn't matter if one black person did you something or a parent did you something, but they internalize it against their own skin color and their own group of people and have a hatred for them. Another characteristic of them, no matter what, they will always attack us in defense of Caucasian people. They will be the one that's going to take the sling and arrows for them forcefully. When one of them are a police officer, he's going to be the one that Ice Cube was talking about, the black cop showing out for the white cop. That's going to be that type. He don't want them to get their hands dirty at all. They will accept any answer from racist no matter what. They will quote statistics that they made up. They will quote things that blacks have low IQ, but yet they are black. So why are you quoting that? Why are you talking all these Fox News talking points? Now, when you look in the mirror, you are black. Usually people like that, they will date possibly a racist, marry a racist. Yes, racists marry black people. They do it all the time. And they say, well, you're not like the rest of them. You know, you're different. And in their mind, it makes it okay. Of course, they are the black friend that a racist will say, I have. And usually those kind of people, as we stated before, aren't happy people. Because if you were truly happy, you wouldn't be so angry. Anger is a sign that you don't have a smile on your face. And that if you are having a smile on your face when you're around them folks, but you get around brothers and sisters and you're angry, then you're not happy. because deep inside of who you are, you're still black. You can get angry that you're black, but you're still there. And it's yearning in you to have a connection with the black man and black woman of America. But yet you want to fight against that natural connection, that spiritual connection that you already have, and we've been having ever since we've been here. This is why we can feel the pain of one of our brothers and sisters in Africa, or I live in Texas. I can feel the pain of one of my brothers and sisters in New York or California. Never met them, distant, but it's the spiritual connection that we have, which make us very different in the way we do things. And we need to embrace the differences that we have with us and not allow people who don't have those connections spiritually to govern our feelings about ourselves and so on. So the next one that I would like to cover would be the buttermilk biscuit sellout. Now, the buttermilk biscuit sellout will be more like a Jason Whitlock. Now, as always, they would defend them at all costs against black people. They will be the main spokesman for them. At times, they may attempt to get on black people's side to lower their defenses, the black people, and infiltrate. They are, once again, the black friend white nationalists have. They could be the only black supervisor at your job. They play both sides for strategy. Now, the buttermilk biscuit one is the one that we see probably a lot, the ones that make us sick. But this is the deal, even with the angry sellout and the buttermilk biscuit sellout, is that their usefulness is declining under the time of Trump. Because since they feel they can be more openly racist now and do whatever they want to do and thinking they're not going to have any backlash until they get involved with it, now they're crying, talking about they getting charges, they're noticing their usefulness is going down. So what they do is ratchet up the selling out. So the buttermilk biscuit eating, ratchet it up, do more of it than normal. Now, how many people know people like this? Now I want to go to the third one, and I will call them the lost sellout. Now the lost sellout would be an example of the sister on the left-hand side that you see here. And when you watch that interview, that sister, if you looked into her eyes, she had a look of being lost. She had a look of being confused. And her whole identity is the identity of another group of people and another culture that's not her own. So yes, she is lost. She don't know who she is. Most of the people who are lost in that way was probably raised around a lot of Caucasians, had nothing but Caucasian friends, went to school with Caucasians, and they never was in tune with being around black people. And in turn, they have to internalize that culture. They will date and marry racists, possibly, or they may date and marry another lost soul like themselves, or possibly a angry sellout or buttermilk biscuit sellout. But it's going to be someone, if they're black, to that notion, because they couldn't get with a brother or a sister that's really about the community. It's just not going to work. Not 2 seconds. Now, number 4. This one is a combination. Now, when I mention combinations, we know people that have combined multiple ones most of the time, but usually they're going to have a dominant version of the selling out, in my opinion. Now, an example of what I call the angry and buttermilk biscuit sellout would be Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith would be one I would call the angry buttermilk biscuit sellout. Now, he's a combination of the angry, as I stated before, and buttermilk biscuit. He may get out of pocket with Caucasians every once in a while until they put him in his place and he get in line. And once they put him back in line, he go back to screaming and yelling, being extra loud, putting on a step and fetch it show, and yet he's being nothing but a Sambo, really, on television. We see that with Stephen A. Smith all the time. He argues with black men, and if you watch the dynamics of those shows he's on, the white co-host is sitting back just watching him and letting him just do what he do. Hey, whoever the kid Christian is, can you kick them out, please? Yeah, kick them out. Anyway, now the last one, which one I feel is probably the most dangerous one at times, would be the hustling sellout. Now, the hustling sellout is a black person that didn't start off that way. Not at all. They became that way because they were hurt by black people. And possibly, let's say a black person did them something real bad, maybe in a relationship, or maybe a father wasn't around and that hurt them, or the mother didn't love them enough. They had it hard in their life. And instead of dealing with those issues and standing up and being a man or woman and overcoming those issues, whatever they may be, they decided to start hustling and selling out. And what I mean by the hustling and sellout, they sell out for capital. That's what they do it for. It's all about the dollar for them. They feel once they get this capital, they're better than black people because, understand something, selling out like that, it is some money in that. Let's just be real. I wouldn't be on here talking about no Patreon if I was selling out. Trust me, because they would fund me very well. Any type of person that you see selling out, have you ever heard them talk about they need some donations? Think about it. They never say anything about a donation. Why? Because it's a lot of money in that. And it's about the money for them. And they will defend their behavior when you call them out and say, well, at least I got more money than you. I'm better than you at XYZ. Their whole identity and who they are is given to them by who they serve, which is massa. They, as I stated before, chose the easy way out, and they know exactly what they are doing. They know what they're doing because remember, they're hustling. And if you don't watch them at times, if a black person was to come up to them and willing to give them just a little bit more money than massa give them, then because they're a hustler, they will flip on massa. But it's kind of far and few in between for that to happen. The hustling sellout can even turn pro-black at times. They can, and they will fool you. But it's always to get you to kind of stay on their side because they don't want to be too far away from you, but they want to keep you around just enough. And they're not going to go down the road. So what happens is even the hardcore racists that like them and love their message, they still going to say, it's times that she or he kind of start talking black. Well, they do that because they want to always keep one foot in the door in the black community, just in case the people that they're serving flip on them, and then they can run back to the black community and say, hey, see, I've been here. You see the videos I made. You see the posts I make. You see what I said about this issue on the news. I mean, I wasn't just separated from the black community. I do this in the black community. I donate to kids. I do all kinds of things they may say they do, and it could be factual, but they want to keep one foot in the door just in case they need to come back to the black community. And understand something, they are extreme opportunists. That's who they are. They are pimping them for money. And they're going to continue to pimp them for money as long as they cut the check, pay the donations, etc. And the moment they don't do that, they will flip on them and someone else give them money. So I know we can say we can have other honorable mentions and that can combine the other different things as well. I know that we have a lot of hybrids of the sellouts. I get it. But I just kind of want to identify at least 5 of them. And maybe you can come up with more than I came up with. But it's just kind of like 5 behaviors that I've seen with them in my time of covering them in news stories or looking at them just in my overall life and how they operate. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, they really not happy people. They're really not. And if they say they're happy, they're lying to you. They're fooling themselves, because remember, we can always fool ourselves with something. Now, what if one of those people that fit that category have a inward moment and they really see the error in their ways and they want to come back to the black community? How would a lot of you respond to that? If they really are repentant and they really have opened their eyes, how would you feel about if one of them wanted to come back to that, to the black community? Well, my response to that would be, you remember when I was doing videos and I was really on a campaign to tell you stop forgiving racists because we have a sickness in our community. And that sickness is to forgive racists, but not forgive people in our own community. And I believe that we should, if our prodigal sons and daughters, possibly, it depends on what they do now. Always remember, it depends. If they want to come back home, I believe we shouldn't just trust them. No, I believe that they need to tell their story. They need to admit to the community what they did, every bit of it, why they did it, and ask for repentance and forgiveness from the community. And then from there, if they seem genuine enough, I think they need to go through a time period of building trust in the black community again. And they're going to have to be the most outspoken, and they're going to have to do the most to earn trust, because just because you say you see the error in your ways doesn't mean we trust you. No, it's like a relationship. When you are in a relationship with a man, a relationship with a woman, if that person does something to hurt the trust, you may end up forgiving them, but trust is going to take time. It could take a year. It could take 2 years. It could take 3 years. It could take some time. It just depends on the severity of what you've done. So if one of them or a few of them want to come back home, I think we should be open to it. Depends on what they did, though. Like I said, it depends on what they did. Depends. If it's not too severe in what they done, then I think we should give them a time to prove themselves to the community, because at the end of the day, if we don't give at least some option for those to possibly correct the error of their ways and come back home like the prodigal son or the prodigal daughter, then who are we? We don't want to model ourselves after them folks. We want to be who we normally should be. But remember what I said, that you can't come back and say, oh, I see the error of my ways, forgive me and let me join the fold. Oh, no, you don't join nothing. You stay outside the fold, but you follow at a distance, and then we will teach you to get back to where you need to be, and then you must prove yourself worthy of the community and get the trust of the community first before you even think about getting in. This is the route you chose if you want to come back. That's how I feel with the situation. Some people may say, forget them, Phil. They was out there shucking and jiving. They don't need to come back. And some people have the right to feel that way. Just as I get older and I look at our community, I feel like some people, if you listen to some of their stories and hear how they got to that point, sometimes it's failures that happen in maybe family, the community. And hopefully, the best thing you could do for a person is to forgive them. And we don't want to forgive black people. And I stated that before. We believe in forgiving black people. I promote that, because we can forgive people that shoot our children and they body not even in the ground, and we on there crying, I forgive you. But we can't do it to black people. We out of order. And I firm believer this. For you, if everybody gonna say this, some of y'all saying this, black first stuff, if you believe that, then forgiveness should be the first thing that we do in our community. Now, some things, like I say, are egregious. Like, to me, killing black people, I can't forgive that. I can't. Touching children, I can't forgive that. Raping women, can't forgive that, because you knew exactly what you was doing. I'm just giving a few things that I just can't fool with. But you may say, sister, I am too kind, but it's not about me being kind. It's just me using wisdom in my older years to understand that I made mistakes in my life too. I am not saying I did that, but I made mistakes in my life, and I'm not judge, jury, or executioner. So I think people at times, maybe if they feel genuine, you see they're genuine, and you know they're genuine, we should give people a chance in our community. Because like I said, we forgive these race soldiers when they kill our kids. Or like this. Like, think about it. How many times have they said, do you forgive the cop? And black people say yes. That's the only thing I'm saying with that situation. Yes, you're right. Forgiveness is a choice. Forgiveness is a choice. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. But I've learned with time, harboring unforgiveness hurts you, not them. So when I tell you you don't have to forgive with the actions of that racist, you don't have to. I don't believe you should. That's not even normal. You have to go through a grieving process. They took your child away. Come on. I would expect you to say, if I forgive him and walk off. That's dumb. You're not even being human at that point. Forgiveness is for you, actually, and your soul. It's not for them. But what I'm saying is the same forgiveness that we have for these folks that kill our children, these folks that talk to us in a kind of way, these folks that's created laws to put our brothers and sisters in jail, and we got all that forgiveness for them, we can express some of that forgiveness with our brothers and sisters, because a lot of them are screwed up. Maybe not in the area of selling out, but some of them are screwed up in other ways, mentally, can't hold relationships because they don't never seen a proper relationship. That's just the only thing I want to promote, to bring some balance to what I say, because I know a lot of you get upset, and I get upset with that selling out and get on my nerves. The Charles Barkley situation, and he be saying things at times. I heard about the George Foreman situation. And look, speaking about that, the honorable mention, the old sellout. And I say the old sellout is because some people just get up in age. They don't remember no more. I guess the system don't bother them as much. And so it's kind of easy for them to go that route. Oh, well, if you do this. Oh, well, if you do that. When they were younger, they were banging on them every day. So when you get to a certain age, I just kind of overlook you when you start talking like that. Because I say, okay, man, all right, I got you. And that's it. Sometimes we can't get too emotional with them either, because they use them as a buffer to agitate. And we have to learn to overlook them when they do that. Now, I'm not saying accept them and they're wrong. I'm not saying not to call them out. Call them out every chance you get. Ostracize them immediately. But make sure that when we ostracize them, we ostracize in those they're serving too. Because sometimes as black people, we're quick to check them, but we won't check Massa at all. We stay quiet. You don't say crap to him. So my thing is, if you're going to criticize them and go off on them, which you should, make sure you have the same criticism for the one they're serving every single day. So I definitely want to get your opinions on the situation that we're talking about. Let me see if I can get that set up. And hold on. Just give me a second. I'm not looking at the stream for right now. I'm waiting for this to load up. I know some people may disagree with me in some things, but I just feel as I say things as I get a lot older, and which age is supposed to bring wisdom. It's supposed to. I just think that we do need to give black people a chance if they're genuine about it. If they're not genuine, then forget them. Let them go. I'm a firm believer of that too. I'm very cutthroat. But one thing I noticed too, there's something else I noticed, and I keep noticing this. A lot of the people who are the biggest sellouts, why are they dark skinned like me? Have you noticed that? I'm not saying they don't have no lighter skinned people that do it. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, just something I noticed. And it's like because you have self-hate, you want to be the biggest sellout of them all. And it's silly. I don't know why you're selling out to anybody. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the number is up on the screen. For those that want to call in, please stick to topic tonight, please. We don't need to go different routes. I can stay on here a little while, but I can't be on here forever. So please make sure you press the number 1 if you want to call in and talk. Let's check this thing here. Yeah, I noticed that. You say light-skinned and biracials bang the hardest on the pro-black tip. Yeah, I noticed that. I've seen a lot of biracials. They go harder than anybody else. They hurt, like, for instance, Colin Kaepernick. Prime example. He has a white mother, a black father, and look what he's doing. Also, when it comes to biracials, speaking of Colin Kaepernick, any drop of black blood you have, you're black. Doesn't matter what you look like. You are black. Because you got some black people that get into that argument, but that's not the show for that. But that person in that comment is right. We all black at the end of the day, right? Make sure you press 1 if you have called in. Because I can't answer the call unless you press. Oh, there we go. Someone press 1. Please, as I stated before, let's stay to topic. Area code 843, you're on the show. Okay, hold on. 843, you're on the show. I don't hear you.
Yo, what up?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Speak up a little bit. Forever hold your peace.
Yeah, man. I'm just.
Hey, you got the Lord. You have the Lord. Hold on, you have the Lord to show behind you.
Huh?
Okay, I gotta move. I ain't got that kind of time. Area code 904, you on the show.
Hi, Phil. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine. How you making it?
I'm all right. My name is Nicole. I'm from almost like 30 miles from Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
And on that topic that you're talking tonight, I was also noticing not even just more so of the black women on the outside, but I also noticed the Caucasian woman in the middle. It was like she even felt uncomfortable even sitting there. She didn't, to me, if they would have really paid attention, it's like she was even repulsed that they was even sitting by there. You know? That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But also, as like you say, how can you really love others if you don't love yourself?
Right.
And then I noticed, just like you said, looking at the lady on the left, she looked completely lost. She looked like she's just trying to fit in where she really doesn't fit in, you know? And it's really sad because, and especially where I'm from, I know that we have, it's not that many African Americans where we got the KKK, everything, you know? And, you know, it's just sad that it's still that time, that age. And then I noticed when she said, too, let me go back to that, when she was like, well, I didn't live back then, and I didn't this, and I didn't that. But you have to think, okay, your great-grandfathers, your great-grandmothers, they fought for that right for us to, you know, be free and everything else. It's like, why are they not getting that? You know, I really don't understand.
They don't want to get it.
But
they don't want to get it because if you want to get it, you can get it.
Right. I do, like you said, wisdom. And, you know, you can be a 60-some-year-old fool, and you can be a 20-some-year-old fool, you know. And I just noticed that, you know, about your show, that, like you said, common sense with a reproach, you know, it's just all around. It's like a lot of things that me and my husband, we talk about. And I'm like, oh, my God. I've shown my husband, I'm like, this man he's like, yeah, he's saying the same things you're saying. And it makes perfectly good sense, Phil, you know. But all I can do is pray for them sisters, you know. And like you said about them, if they came back with a genuine, you know, sorry, you know, yeah, I'm the type, because I'm brought up, you know, in the church. I'm brought up Love and kindness have I drawn thee. So yeah, I would. But like you say too, at the same time, I still feed them with a long handled spoon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you some of them women like that, and I have dealt with women like that I had worked with. They'll go be with them, you know, and be and then turn around and put that knife in your back, So, and I just want to say I
And
really
those
appreciate
women,
your show. I want to go on you long, and I thank you very much, Phil.
thank you, sister. And one thing about let me add to something that she said. One thing about those women she's talking about, I've seen this just on jobs as a black man, just because I'm a very observant person and I'm highly analytical. I'm always trying to figure things out, study people, why they make certain moves, why they say what they say. I think people are very interesting to study. And on jobs over the years, I've always seen, if you look at that dynamic of that picture that was put up, that woman right there in the middle that she's talking about, I've always seen that a lot of the Caucasian females on jobs always took issues with the black women, even if they were like them that you see in a news piece. That's the thing that tripped me out. I don't know why they are. It's like this I don't know if it's a competition, hate, cattiness. I don't know what it is, but it's like intense stuff that be going on between black women and Caucasian women, especially in the area of jobs. But let's go ahead and get back to the let me see. What area code did I just answer? Area code 904, you on the show. Area code 904.
Phil, I think I'm still on with.
Oh, sorry, sister. I didn't realize that was your phone. Sorry. Area code 702, you on the show.
Hello, Phil. This is Diana, and I haven't watched the whole live video yet. I just got on, but I just wanted to answer your question on why you believe dark-skinned people happen to be more sellout than mixed or lighter-toned people, lighter-toned black people. And I think a lot of it has to do with perspective. Everybody grows up differently. Sometimes there are dark-skinned people who, they grow up feeling neglected or feeling like they're always intimidating people, and so they really want that acceptance from the right race. So sometimes they do sell out. Sometimes they do say all this types of stuff just so they can still have white friends and be accepted and be popular. And then other times it has to do with the community they grow up in. I know when I grew up in Colorado Springs, it was like 91% white, and it felt like there was no racism. And coming back to Chicago to visit my family, I started to understand that racism still exists. But I had the opportunity to live both worlds. Like some black people, they don't have the chance to live both worlds. Sometimes they just live around white people all the time to the point that they think like white people. They have more of a white culture than a black culture. And there's other times where I feel like lighter toned people or mixed people, they get it because, they're accepted more by the white community. They don't have to really go through that feeling of intimidating somebody because they're dark skinned or having to be overly polite because white people view them as less intimidating. So they can speak their mind more than dark skinned people, and they don't have to have that fear too much. So that's what I think, in my opinion.
Okay. All right.
Did you get that?
I got everything you said. I'm just taking it. I'm soaking it all in like a sponge.
All right. That's all I have to say, Phil. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Let's see here. Area code 737. You on the show?
Yeah, Phil. One of the things I really you got to talk about when you use that word sellout, man, is that the point of the meritorious manumission, like Brother Claude talks about, man, there was that value there that was given to us if we were willing to throw each other under the bus, and that's that part that we gotta overcome that first, and that the idea of just creating a group of people together that are focused on what movement we have, we can attract those that are willing to sell out and show them the value in us, so that they don't go looking for that exterior the validation from the other side.
Right. So what steps should we take as a community to prevent that from happening?
Well, it's really just being, let's get our money up. Let's get an economy going that's specifically black focused. And with that being there, that's something that we can have on our own, that we don't have to worry about having everything that they sell to us on a daily basis. We can recreate and sell under our own name. It don't matter. They patents, they copyrights and all that stuff. If they don't want to buy it, then don't buy it. But everything we can do ourselves.
Oh, I agree with that. I preach that all the time, doing for self. But let me give you an example. Let's put me in the mix, right? Because when we get to certain positions, these folks will try to come at you certain ways. And I told this.
Yeah, they do.
I told this story on Patreon how them folks tried to come at me behind the scenes. And if I was about some money, then I could have took that deal. But I'm not. So there are some people that aren't strong enough to say, I live more on my principles, and I rather the people support than those folks support. So you could. What happens is you can get angry. Like, let's say in business, right? Let's talk about business. You can have that black-owned business, right, and you were thinking, you going into it just, I got a black-owned business. I want to just offer things to our community. And then when our community don't come through, when our community look at you like who she thinks she is or who you think he is, I'm not helping them. I'm not helping her. And it can rub people the wrong way. And then they say, well, shoot, forget it. Then folks give me that money, so I'm going to take it. So what do we do to prevent that from happening?
Yeah, well, it's all about knowledge of self. That communication from Malcolm, when he was getting interviewed by the FBI, ultimately their dollars is falling every day. People are dumping money left and right into all these cryptocurrencies and everything because there's no government behind it and there's no white supremacy structure. And so it don't matter if your love is in yourself, and you don't have to worry about jealousy of your own, because if you know that once these structures get built, Phil, you're gonna employ tons of people to interview, to report, to produce it, and they're gonna be just as black and just as focused as you are. And so the idea of hating each other because of what somebody else is doing successfully or what they're not doing successfully, it's pointless now. It's 2017. It's that mindset got to be done. It's got to be thrown under the bus, man, because we have to know that nobody's giving us nothing. They never have and they never will. But if we work together, we build together, then nobody can stop us. With that mindset, then we don't have to worry about what they want to hand out to us, because we can hand it out to each other.
All right, brother. Appreciate you calling the show. Everything he just said, yes, that is the truth, in principle. But the problem we have in is execution of that. That's our biggest problem. It seemed like a lot of us don't want to roll up our sleeves and do the hard work. Area code 323 on the show.
Yeah, how you doing, Phil?
I'm good.
Yeah, you know what? I have a personal experience. I have a son who I part raised him and mother partly raised him, and he's pretty much, at one time, he pretty much was a coon.
Mm-hmm.
He actually went into the service, and he married a white woman. He called me, told me. Then I saw a picture of her, and I was like, damn, all she is white, about 300 pounds. Well, to get a little backdrop on me, he was talking about somebody who was in the nation. To make a long story short, he was hanging out with some white guys in the service, and they got in a lot of trouble. Come to find out, when I read the transcripts and found out everything that was going on, he was just in for the ride. they got a slap on the hand. They threw the damn book at him. That was my opening to get him to understand that he really was black. That really is a difference. And what happened was he went in, after he was kicked out, he went into somewhat of depression. And one day we was driving through, was going through a drive-through, and he sees some white dudes. And I watched this dude transform. So I checked him about it, and I constantly started working with him, and I kept showing him. And I looked back through his life. We did like a little autopsy of his life. Mm-hmm. And I kept showing him every time his interaction with them was different. To make a long story short, he is giving up cooning, but it's a process. And the one thing I noticed was there was some things that his mother did that I had a problem with. I was literally the first black man she dealt with. This is a black woman. And she's listening to rock and roll.
That's problem number one.
Music.
Mess that boy head up.
And I confronted her about it. And I was explaining how important culture is. To make a long story short, though, cooning is somewhat of a mental illness, overappreciation of white people, and fear. And that's just what I believe. I believe it is a deep appreciation of your own people because most coons will defend that white person that they hold in high respect more than they would an entire black race.
Well, let me ask you a question about
That's pretty much up.
Let me ask you a question about your son. What did, in your opinion, his mother was putting in his head to screw him up? Just so people could know what you was getting at her about. Like, give us some instances.
Well, for instance, she had, and it's not, I couldn't blame her, but it goes back to her father and her brother. Literally was trying to, when I finally sat down and we finally talked, she didn't tell me this, but her experience with them was so negative. I don't know if it was a biological father or her father. They tried to rape her. And the family was totally disjointed. So when you got a family that's disjointed, the dominant culture will step in and give you a narrative. And they'll give you, I mean, she told me some pretty wild stuff. She didn't tell me this before we got married, but after that. And now if you talk to her, she's like, she has another daughter, and she's like, I mean, damn, you think this was Sister Soldier talking to you now. So she's made them out. She's moved on to a different stage, but we're not.
Well, you know, people like that, like what you're talking about, those who were cooning and then they finally come to the knowledge of the truth. They usually are like that. They probably more like Sister Soldier, Shahrazad Ali, more than anybody else. Because they actually got to see the dark side already.
I didn't mean to cut you off. But I think there's a point where coons get skinned. And when they get skinned, that's when they're forced to change. The nakedness of white supremacy, racism shows its head. Can I say one other thing? It's related to that. But one of the things that really damaged a lot of black people's psyche as they were raising kids, I'm 57. I was the first generation to integrate a school. That was the biggest mistake we ever did. The mass education we got of you ain't manure. Trust me, that decision to integrate, to take children, I was in the second or third grade, to put them in Alabama, to put them in that type of environment, totally. And from that, most of the people I went to school with are certified grade A coons, and that was devastating. And some of their children, to this day, the self-hate is still there.
I think what they did to me, just listening to you say that, and I'm thinking about, like, okay, if it was my child, and my child was growing up around nothing but the black community, and now my child is being forced to go to a whole different community, a hostile community that don't like, her. and I'm going to have to put her there. That's psychologically damaging to do that. When you know the environment is horrible, so much so they got to have FBI and police escort the child. Why would you do that?
Well, it's even worse than that. We came from an all-black, loving environment where everybody took. I remember everybody took care of the kids when I was a kid, and I remember the identity, everything. And to this day, I still, when I go home, I live in Los Angeles now, I drive by there, I still have memories of it. And now I talk to other people, they have memories of it. But that was one of the most damaging effects. And that's why I'm a staunch opponent of integration, because here's the people who had not even healed from a rape, and then they go back to their rapist to teach me. That's totally insane. That's cooning. In the highest form, a whole nation of black people coon. Cooning is about not standing on your own, not going for your own. You know.
Yeah.
And for us, we still ain't figured out if we want freedom or if we want white people.
Yep,
I don't want to take up all
that's the
your
only
time.
decision people got to make. Well, I appreciate you calling, bro. Thank you.
All right.
You know, as a father, just hearing another father say, "Hey, you know, my son was a coon." I mean, that's brave to admit that publicly, and you know, he kind of remind me of like my family. If you doing something wrong, they're gonna call you out. They're not gonna sit up there and sugarcoat it. And you know, one of the worst things you ever want is your child to grow up doing some things like that. Let's go to the next caller here. Area code 817, you on the show.
What's going on, Phil? It's Jermaine, man. How you doing?
What's going on, Jermaine?
Oh man, not a whole lot, man. I caught the show, man. It's kind of funny. It seems that the coon train is getting very, very full, very, very populated. Because now LaShawn McCoy is the newest passenger on the coon train, from what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
And he jumped down and said that he thinks that Colin Kaepernick is not good enough to be in the league, and he's not worth the distraction.
Well, you know how that go. In that moment, he was being the buttermilk biscuit sellout or coon, whatever you want to call him. That's basically the behavior he was exhibiting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think it's kind of funny that he should mention that when he himself has not sniffed the Super Bowl, number one. Number two, evidently he hadn't taken a real good look at the quarterback situation for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Blake Bortles or Chad Henne, really? You gonna really say he's not good enough, and you're looking at them two, and then you got Indianapolis with Andrew Luck. Nobody knows when Andrew Luck is even gonna take the field.
Well, let me ask you a question. I hear you quoting a lot of quarterbacks in NFL. Are you boycotting the NFL? Or are you watching it?
I'm on.
He took too long.
My support is already. Oh no! Because I can tell you right now, my support is already waning anyway. Because I'm sitting back trying to see which quarterback gonna fall and who's gonna be next to see if Cap gonna get a job.
So you watching the games, or are you just looking? Are you looking at highlights online?
I'm kind of watching. Really, what I'm doing, I'm going through ESPN, looking at some of the news. See like what training camps coming through, what quarterback's going to go.
Okay,
down,
so you're not watching the games.
I keep hearing stuff about. I'm not watching the games per se. No, I'm just watching. I'm just peeking in on some of the news, some of the highlights, because they kept talking about like Andrew Luck supposed to be back, but there's no timetable on his return. I'm like, okay, so when's Cap gonna get the call? And then I'm hearing stuff about Johnny Manziel. If Johnny Manziel or Tim Tebow turns around and get a call before Cap, man, cancel every NFL related program at that point, because that'd be a flat out slap in the face. It's already reached that point now, but you talking about the further disrespect, that would do it. If if Manziel or Tebow get signed before Cap, it's a wrap then. As far as I'm concerned, it's done.
All right, but brother, thanks for calling the show. Before I let you go, the people in the comment section saying you watching games on the low. That's what they saying. So I don't know. You want to holler at them about that. But anyway, man.
Oh.
All right. Let's see. Area code 202, you on the show.
Hey, what's going on, Phil?
Oh, I'm good. What's going on?
Not too much. I just want to say I really appreciate your show. This is Rashid. I'm calling from Washington, D.C. And as far as the sports he's talking about, I mean, I'm not watching football until there's justice, because what's going on is just craziness. As far as Coons, I saw your interview with Jesse Lee Peterson, and I was a little disappointed that you did not destroy him. I can't
Let's
stand
back
that
up.
Coon,
Hold on.
man.
Let's back up here for a minute. Okay. It amazes me when I hear people say destroy. Some people, I notice when people say destroy, it could be yelling, screaming, name calling. I mean, if you know anything about Jesse Lee Peterson, it's like beating a dead horse. I can get more out of the wall than I can get out of Jesse Lee Peterson.
Listen. He even calls himself an Oreo. What does he say? He says he's white on the outside and white on the inside and black on the outside. But he's one of the worst. And as far as Krispy Coons, I would say Tommy Sotomayor.
Okay, well,
that's not.
I don't want to hear his name on my platform, please. Don't mention his name on my platform, please.
Okay, but as far as the Coons that I see, especially on the YouTube platform, I mean, there's a whole lot of them, and sometimes I wonder if they even mean what they're saying. Or if they're just doing this for money or for views or something like that. Because I mean, it's just utter ridiculousness.
Yeah, well,
also,
with situations like that, I don't have the kind of time to really pay attention to what people say on their channels like that, unless I like what you do. Because if it's a YouTube channel that I think is negative, I just don't watch it. I don't. That's kind of how I feel about that.
Well, I love your channel, and from Washington D.C., I got a lot of love, and I appreciate what you do.
All right, I appreciate you calling.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's see here. Area code 647, you on the show.
Hey, Phil, what's going on, brother?
What's going on?
Man, I'm just hanging out, man. I just wanted to just point out, man, I agree with all the points that I'm hearing on the show today. And just to stay on topic, this is just another example of just how strong supremacy, the white supremacy is, you know what I'm saying? To the point where it's ingrained in our brains, to the point where we feel like in order for us to feel accepted or in order for us to get a check, we have to abandon who we are, under social status with our own people. We have to abandon that.
Bro, your phone breaking up, man.
Go to work.
Your phone's breaking up.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Well, yeah, I just want the people to hear, what you have to say.
I'm just saying the supremacy is just crazy. Like, at the end of the day, like the coon train going up, and I just hope that we could save each other, because in reality, no one's going to save us. So I just want to say that, and I want to thank you for your show and your platform, because at the end of the day, we need as much as this as possible. Everybody support Phil on Patreon. We need as much as possible. You feel what I'm telling you?
Yeah, brother, I appreciate you calling. Thank you very much. Let's see. Let's go to the next caller here. Area code 202. You on the show?
Phil, I disagree with you 100% about Stephen A. Smith. He is not a coon. And I would just like you to give me one example to demonstrate that he's a coon.
Back up who?
I disagree with you 100% that Stephen A. Smith is not a coon. And I just want to get an example from you to demonstrate that he's a coon. He's not.
Tell me why he isn't.
First of all, he did not support Trump.
I didn't mention Donald Trump.
Many different
Stop.
issues.
I didn't mention Donald Trump as a basis to what I said. Donald Trump had nothing to do with it.
Okay, but if you look at Stephen A. Smith history, he has spoken to every issue. He has spoken on police brutality. He has spoken, and to prove my point to you that he's not a coon. I mean, everybody you mentioned that you talked about, yes, I agree with you 100%. It's a coon, but Stephen A. Smith is not a coon. And I just want to know one example.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Let's go to the. Let's look at. Everybody else is disagreeing with you. I'm looking at the comment section right now.
Can I get an example? One example.
I think I gave enough examples. If you think that, that's what you think. I'm not about to play that right now. I mean, you disagree, you disagree. Thank you. All right, let's move on. Area code 785, you on the show.
Hello?
You on the show?
Hey, how you doing, Phil?
I'm
My
good.
name's Khalid. I'm calling all the way from Scotland, man.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I was, I watch your show all the time, man, and I really appreciate the effort that you're putting in, man. And for me, I like to look at it from a perspective, right? When it comes to cooning, I'm more interested in the impact that it has on our people rather than just looking into, just trying to heal coons or trying to stop coons from being coons. And for me, it's kind of like, I feel like we need to accept that until we reach the goals that we want to reach or until we get to where we want to get, coons are always going to exist. And we don't need to put that in front of us to make that an object of our, of our success, meaning that we need to get rid of all coons or we need to stop everybody from cooning before we can possibly move towards making some progress as a people and as a nation.
Who's saying that?
So
well, hold on. Who's saying that? Who's saying that we need to stop them from cooning it up?
I don't know. I guess maybe.
No, because
I'm saying that. I'm not saying that you are.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, so you're saying that.
I'm speaking from my own personal experience. I mean, maybe I'm speaking from a personal experience and sharing something that I struggle with, more than anything. I can only speak from my own perspective.
So wait, hold on. So
I
you
know
said,
for me, one of my struggles.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. So, slow down so people can hear you. So you're saying that you're trying to stop people from cooning it up before you become successful in your life?
No, what I'm saying is that one of the struggles that I find that myself and a lot of black people have is that we focus so much on the fact that there are coons, and we feel like there's no way that we can be successful as long as we see people cooning, rather than getting together and working together with people who are not cooning. Cooning has such a deep impact on us as a community. When we see another black person cooning, it harms us and it hurts us so much that it can disrupt our progress and our focus.
I promise you, it don't hurt me at all. It just gets on my nerves. It's annoying, and I just shake my head. But I don't focus my time on them. I think more about the good people you're talking about and what we can do to progress. But man, I appreciate you calling, man, and thank you for calling the show.
Okay.
All right, let's go to this person. Who is this? Area code 832. You on the show?
Hello?
Yeah, 832. You on the show?
Oh, hey. This is my first time calling in. I'm kind of nervous, but I'm gonna go ahead and get through it. I'm not really.
Okay. I guess you're not really nothing. It hung up. Area code 404. You on the show?
What's going on, brother? It's Jeremy from Atlanta.
Oh, what's going on, brother? What's on your mind?
Just cooling, man. Hey, I think that one of the honorary mention categories that you put out about cooning should have made it into the top 5. That is the old coon, or to crossbreed that coon. It will be the old I got mine, you got to get yours coon. To watch that interview that Andrew Young, former mayor of Atlanta, man that marched with Martin Luther King. That interview he did on Meet the Press, if I could have went through my phone and grabbed him around the neck, I would have. Like, bro, what are you doing?
I heard about it. I heard about it, but I
Please.
haven't seen it. If I see it, I'm pretty sure I'm going to respond to it. I haven't watched it yet.
Brother, the man was sitting there talking about how we should love the Klan. And they'll pull white folk out here, too, and all this good stuff. Brother, you got yours. I understand they got to you. They gave you a little money. You was mayor of Atlanta. You got yours. Please, go somewhere and retire. Go find you a lake to go fishing. Go find a cabin. Go do something because, this struggle needs to be led by young people. You're old, man. I understand you don't want to rock the boat. My dad is the same way. I was talking to him, weeks before this, and he kind of made me mad. I almost hung up on him. When he was just, well, son, I'm talking to him about black problems now, and he's like, well, son, you don't want to get in no trouble now. Don't go out there and do anything rash. Look, with all due respect to my dad, he's got his Social Security, he's got his Medicaid going. He just don't want to rock the boat. I'm sorry. I'm tired of being on this boat. I'm one of the people that is not looking for a shade tree on the plantation. I want off the plantation, period. And those kinds of coons with the whole, I got mine, you got to get yours, they're feeding misinformation into the community from that standpoint. They got theirs because of a specific set of circumstances that were taking place back in the 60s and 70s when you could quit your job, quit school in the 4th grade, and go on and get a job in the factory somewhere, and you can build yourself a nice little life off of it. Life don't work like that no more. You can go get 50 degrees and still wind up working at McDonald's nowadays. So, feeding that misinformation into a child, and the whole Bill Cosby thing, pull your pants up and people will respect you more and all of that. I've never seen Obama sagging his pants. They hate him.
Exactly. It's not your clothes. It's not your clothes. It's who you are. They hate.
Exactly. They hate you because you are you. No other further reason. You're black. That's it. That's all they need to see. You're hated. And one quick thing to the people that are, just can't give up the NFL. Here's what you can do to get your NFL fix and also hurt them. Watch the games online. Go to a pirate website. I won't give out any names, but there are a few of them out there. And go to a pirate website, watch the game online. Make sure you tune your TV channels into some obscure channel way up the list some doggone well while the games are on. And that way they don't get the ratings from the TV and you still get to have your NFL fix.
I guess if you want to watch me, I don't even want to see none of it, not even that way. But brother, I definitely appreciate
I'm not watching either, but
because me, brother, I can go watch college football.
Go ahead.
I can watch college football, and that's what I tell people. You got college football you can go watch. Watch high school football. Support the local kids in your area. Go watch Friday nights about to come up.
That's what I'll be doing.
Yeah.
And I don't even watch college football anymore because of the fact I don't like the way that, the student athletes are treated. Due to, you're making billions of dollars for this school, and if you can't even go get a job at Burger King, you lose your scholarship. You can't do anything that makes money or you'll lose your scholarship. Meanwhile, this school is making billions of dollars off of you. The minute you break your leg or something, they're rescinding your scholarship and you're out of there. And a lot of the time, especially when it comes to football, those kids are there with hopes and dreams of making it towards the NFL. So they're not even in school really for that quote unquote education that they're getting, because that's a bunch of bull too. Like I said, you can go in there and get those degrees and wind up working at McDonald's still. It happens to a lot of them.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. Brother, thank you for calling. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Let me go down. I saw somebody else here I need to get to. Let's see here. I was working on getting down this call list, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see here. 30 minutes. Area code 832. You on the show?
Hello?
Yeah, you on the show. What's going on?
Not much. Well, the title, on the topic, Donald Trump there's some type of sellouts that like that come into the country. For example, the Latinas. Some of them try to act white. Some of the Latinos trying to act white to get into as like black people. Some of them, and that's basically, and some of them voted for Trump as well. One time I come across.
Oh, shoot. Hold on. Sorry about that. It came across and did what?
I came across a sign saying Latino for Trump.
Yeah.
And then some people, and then sometimes I ask myself, you voted for this man, but have you actually listened to what he said on the television about Latinos, about building a wall and stuff like that?
Okay.
But most of them voted for him because they think they
okay, bro. Not to cut you off, but I appreciate you calling because you're going somewhere else that we don't need to go, and callers are waiting. Area code 951, you on the show?
951.
Yeah.
What's up, Phil? I've been listening to you for a very long time, but I've been listening to the show, and I appreciate about the sellouts, the 5 sellouts, and everything else. But I wanted to talk about that one dude that pretty much was talking about Stephen A. Smith,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a very good example of how he basically explained how Stephen A. Smith is, and he was trying to ask for examples, and like the biggest example when Stephen A. Smith was trying to admit that racism don't exist.
Yeah. I can't stand when they. Oh boy, who else said that? Jesse Lee Peterson said that too. Racism don't exist.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, wow, this dude is really retarded because if he really just did his research, he'll find that out on like a YouTube video or anything. So it's playing out.
Yeah, I hear you, brother.
So that was a perfect example. That's all I wanted to say.
All right, bro. Well, thank you for calling the show. Appreciate you. Let's move down the list. I got this person moving. Area code 757. You on the show?
Hello?
Hello, you on the show?
Hey, Phil, what's up? This is Tina. I'm on the Black Native. I've been watching you for so long, and it's just like that video footage that you showed earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It literally was like what I was going through at my job, working in corporate. I had to leave because of the issues with black women and white men, black women and white women. It's just the dynamics are crazy.
Hey, sister, you mind turning it down? Sister, you mind turning down whatever you got going in the background because it's coming across the feed.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. I
don't know if it's a TV or radio.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. You good?
Okay. So, yeah. I mean, I've been watching you for years. I put my mother on to you. She watches you when I'm not there, and she talks about you to me. But the issue that that you were showing that video footage of, I just actually was having a conversation about that with my mother about how white women have issues with black women, and it's always like a dynamic where they're still in control and you're playing this type of submissive role to them, and if you don't play the role, then they have a problem with you. And they also have issues when two women or black people are like congregating, like maybe in a lunchroom or whatever, just having a conversation. They're always like, hey, what are you talking about? What's going on? They want to find out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's just,
I know about that one.
Where I literally I worked for corporate over 15 years, and I wound up just leaving and going to culinary school and trying to start my own business, and then I had to go back because I didn't have investors, and it was just a big mess. And that's the truth, literally. And so that video footage It just hit it right on the nose with me.
Well, sister,
But I'm glad I spoke to you, Phil.
Oh, well, I'm glad you called. I appreciate you.
So I'm glad you spoke and keep up.
Oh, well yes. Thank you. I will. I'm sorry. I was just trying to get through here. We got to move on to the next caller. Area code 931. You on the show?
Hey Phil, I want to take this time for you to educate me. I'm a 24-year-old.
Oh, I don't know if I can educate you, but let's go. Go ahead,
sir.
Yeah, I say I don't know if I can educate you, but let's go.
I was raised by my white family. Most of my friends were black, and I identify as a mixed male, not black nor white. But some of my black friends have a problem with that. So I went and looked up, maybe there's a law or something. Jim Crow law states that when identifying a black male, it's any male with any amount of black blood in him, African American blood in him. And I don't identify with a racist Jim Crow law. Is that a problem?
For you, it's going to be.
Why is that?
Because that Jim Crow law, that Jim Crow law that you're talking about, that you researched, that's how Caucasians will identify you. Are Caucasians in power?
Yes, sir.
Do they make the laws?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do they control the military? Hold on. Do they control the military?
Yes, sir.
And they control the banking system. They control the resources. They control it all. So for right now, because they're in control, is really what they say to a point. Now you could say I don't identify as being black, but at the end of the day, when these race
I'm not dissing. I'm not dissing.
I didn't say you were.
Like I said, I love both sides.
I didn't say you were. I didn't accuse you of that. I'm just saying in the world you're living in. I'm not saying don't love your mama or whoever she may be, or love your daddy. I ain't saying none of that. I'm not saying don't love your family. But in this world, you are a black man. And the quicker you accept that, the quicker things will be better for you.
But I can't be the voice of because I have my own, me and my cousin, we have our own podcast that we're starting.
Okay.
Going through all the education that we're finding out, whether it's about the actual American national anthem and Jim Crow and the Democratic Party, just anything we can put out to educate, the masses. That's how we're trying to make our voice different. And I want to identify, and I want to make all the mixed races say, it's okay to be you. You don't have to identify with something that somebody tells you to be. It's okay to be you. And I just want to know if that's okay from an educated black man.
You know why you're asking me is that okay? Because you're not comfortable saying what you're saying. Because you're comfortable saying what you're saying, and you really feel great about that. You wouldn't be asking me.
Well, I feel like I'm
about it.
Well, I value your opinion, but I'm going to identify as a mixed man. I just want to know, would you, as an educated black man who knows far more than I do, because I'm only 24 years old, I haven't seen the world that you've seen, I haven't studied what you studied, so that's why I'm valuing your opinion. I would just like to know, do you think one day I could be seen as what I am, just like you could be seen for what you are, just a man, not identified as a black man, but a man first.
Hey, let me ask you a question. What do they say about Colin Kaepernick?
They call him black, just like they call Barack Obama black. And
okay, well that's two people who have white mothers, and you see how they treat them. Look at and they know President Obama had a white mother. They still called him monkey. They still called him the N-word. They still called him everything they would call me with two black parents. And President Obama said many times that he identified as black. This country that you live in is going to make you identify as black. You don't have to do what you want to do. You young. I get it. I'm not mad at you. But what I'm telling you, as an older brother, this country going to make you realize some things, and you're going to have to accept some things whether you like it or not. Do what you want. Your podcast ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. We talking about on a personal level. This country is going to show you who you are, a black man. You don't have to accept it, but I'm telling you that's the reality you're living in.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate all that you do, and keep up the good work.
All right, man. I hate to put it to him like that, ladies and gentlemen, and I hate to put it, but I'm not going to sit here and tell him a lie like that when he's asking me a genuine question about. I understand he may love his mama or whoever it is that's not black. I'm not telling him not to. I will never tell nobody not to love your mother or your father, whoever that may be. I will never tell you not to love your family. But in this world, in this United States of America, no matter how light-skinned you are, no matter how curly hair that you may have, or you may look racially ambiguous, you are not them, and they will view you as black. Period. In this world, accept things for what they are and then deal with them accordingly. All right, let's go to the next caller here. Area code 225, you on the show.
Yeah, what's going on, Phil?
What's up, bro?
Yeah, I was just wondering about the top 5 coons and sellouts you was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one I face every day is the Sheriff Clark one.
What about Sheriff Clark?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, the angry coon.
Oh yeah, I face that one every day. I work with this coon every day. Like he try to get everybody fired. Quickly he run straight to tell master everything. that's the angry coon right there. That's
Yeah.
Sheriff Clark. You got to get all us fired. Be the main one. Oh no, y'all gonna get trouble. Now I know what y'all talking about. That's the coon. And I remember a while back when you made a video, you did an interview with this dumbass coon. What's her name? Bernie 66. Oh Lord, that's the dumbest coon. That was the dumbest coon. What got me about that damn dumb fucking coon when she said?
All right, let's try to watch the language, sir.
Well, I'm sorry about I'm sorry, but you gotta keep it clean. But what makes me mad about that coon when she said these police shootings are hoax? I like the more you coon, the dumber you are.
Pretty much.
Lord,
well, some have to really be wrong with you to identify with a group of people that's not your own. You are in black skin every day. You deal with everything that black people have to deal with, but yet you want to be and you're trying to be another group of people. That's like we would look at, if for instance, if we walked outside and we saw a cat trying to bark and a cat trying to chase other cats, like a dog will chase a cat, or a cat trying to eat a bone, or a cat trying to piss on a fire hydrant. We say, what the hell wrong with that cat? That's a cat. That's not a dog.
Right.
We look at that as crazy,
right.
But we don't look at people doing that as crazy.
So like you said, you said this in your video every time I watch you. In the white man's eye, you're still an end. So no matter what you do, you're still an end at the end of the day.
Right.
And like when you did an interview with Jesse Peterson, I was like, oh Lord, man, this dude here. I don't know how you'd have did it, Phil, but it was me. I don't think I would have lasted the interview that long. That would just now that's one thing I like about Cynthia G when it went off for Jesse Lee Peterson and Bernie 66. I was like this coon here is very dumb.
Well, Cynthia has a different personality than I have, but when I do certain things, I have my reasons why I do certain things. Like with Bernie Tree, for instance, I knew why I brought her on, and I wanted her to talk. That's why I didn't interrupt her unless I felt it was just really ridiculous. Because sometimes you need to let a person talk and let them express themselves so you have a record of what they said, and then you could take time to analyze it, to dissect it, or we can go back and say, see, that's how they think. Now, if I go off and cut them off, then we won't really get how deep the rabbit hole goes with that kind of mindset. So that's kind of how I like to do things. What's up? What they say here? Oh. on, guys. Just give me a second. Hold on. How do I back up?
I'm sorry, but I did not hear you press at least 4 digits of your PIN number. The PIN you entered does not match the PIN you have on file for your account. Please re-enter your PIN. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Well, I'll say. That sucks. Let's go in that situation right there. All right. Well, we had an issue, but it is what it is. The beginning and the end of the day, you are who you are. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that actually be a good time to get to the ending part of this and wrap it up. Now, I need to go get something to eat, but I'm thinking about doing another stream on our Advice Show media channel, but that stream is going to be different. There's a picture I saw on Twitter, and I kind of want to find out what you guys think about this particular picture. And one thing I couldn't stand about this picture, especially for a lot of guys, sometime with that makeup, yeah, you would have to see this picture, but I'm thinking about that. So if I go live on our Advice Show media channel, make sure you subscribe to that channel, and keep up with all our channels. You know, I want to thank everyone for watching. I appreciate it. Hello, Phil on Snapchat. Yes, I have Snapchat, but I don't use it like that too much. Not too much. I love stream on that channel. Oh yeah, well, Golden Black. I'm gonna do a stream over there. I'm gonna do it a little bit more, like say, relaxed. So yeah, y'all go subscribe to Golden Black. That girl crazy. I would honestly say Golden Black is crazy as hell. She say the most outrageous stuff, but it's funny, and I like that. You know, I like going to channels that I can just relax, because on this channel is all serious business and important stuff. But I do have another side of my personality. I'm just laid back, chill, not talk about just about anything with anybody. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I'm gonna give me a little snack and join me on that stream. Make sure you subscribe and you'll know when it pop up. So let me get a little break, and then we probably do that stream.